Let's go.
You could have been anywhere in the YouTube world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that. Welcome to Zay Reviews. And you already know what time it is. We're here to run down the card for this week's installment of Monday Night Raw. And this time around, it's the Raw after WrestleMania, and you already know we still have that crowd from last night's WrestleMania, that out of the country crowd, that heavy wrestling crowd. So usually those crowds make Raw 1,000 times better. So let's see for this year's Raw after WrestleMania. Let's see what they got in store for us. So the night starts off with your boy, Adrenaline in my soul. Holy shit, it's Cody Rhodes. Your boy Cody Rhodes emerging from out the stage, and he walks towards the ring. He stands in the ring, cuts a promo of why he decided to come back. He says that a lot of people may think that the decision to jump back to WWE was hard, but for him, it wasn't hard at all. And he pretty much goes on in his promo and he sets a mission statement. He talks about his father and he says how much of a hero that Dusty Rhodes was to him. And he is disappointed at the fact that he wasn't able to become a world champion while his father was still with us. So he sets out a goal to become a world champion in WWE. He said he's going to do it for himself. He's gonna do it for his family, and yes, he's gonna do it for his father. Then we get the theme song of Seth Rollins. Seth comes out and interrupts Cody. Seth joins Cody in the ring, and as the two are staring at each other, Cody extends his hand for a handshake. At first, Seth is hesitant, but then he shakes his hand, laughs, and says, "Welcome home," and then walks away. So I guess we got a little sign of respect between the two. They did have a crazy good match at WrestleMania. So let's see what happens in the future. How soon is Cody going to be in the world title picture? Hopefully soon. I would love to see him go up against Roman. Next, we have the first title defense for our women's tag team champions. Naomi and Sasha Banks defended the belts against the team of Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. Now, this match wasn't long. After a little miscommunication between Rhea and Liv, Naomi and Sasha Banks would hit their double team maneuver on Liv Morgan. I'm sorry, I still don't know the name of it, but it is fire. They win the match 1-2-3, and we get the first successful defense for the women's tag team champions. Afterwards, Rhea is a little disappointment, and as Liv goes up to check on Rhea, Rhea walks off on Liv, and Liv is very confused. She's like, what was that about? Why are you walking off on me? And as Liv goes to follow Rhea to see what's going on, we get the theme song of Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens comes stomping out towards the ring. Kevin Owens grabs the mic and he says, "Look, I might have overstepped my boundaries. I thought that I was being smart by suckering Stone Cold Steve Austin into a match, but it turns out the man still got it. The man is still great." But then he flips the script and says, "If you're gonna beat me at WrestleMania, you have to be that great." So Kevin Owens just shrugging off the fact that he suffered a loss at WrestleMania. But as Kevin Owens is talking, he gets interrupted. We hear a theme song that we never heard before, and some guy just comes out. We see some dude in trunks with the long hair as he's getting closer to the ring. As his face starts to become clearer to me, I said, "Hey, yo, is that Elias?" Then he gets to the ring, and Kevin Owens says on the mic, "Elias?" Like he wastes no time. He goes, "Elias? Where have you been? I mean, it doesn't matter where you've been. Like, what have you done? Like, why are you here?" Like, da-da-da. Then dude goes, "Who's Elias? I'm not Elias. I'm his little brother Ezekiel." Kevin Owens is like, "No, you're Elias. You're a liar." And he's like, "No, I'm Ezekiel." And it's so stupid. They go back and forth. Kevin Owens says, "You better tell the truth right now, or I'm gonna beat you up. If I'm gonna count to 10. When I get to 10, I'm gonna beat you up." Ezekiel stands there as Kevin Owens gets to 10, and then Kevin Owens just walks out instead of fighting Ezekiel. So I don't know where this is going, but what a way to repackage Elias. He looks completely different. He's cleaned up his hair, shaved his face, and I don't know what they're about to do with him, but we'll see. Next, we get a one-on-one confrontation between The Miz and Dominic Mysterio. And this match was not long at all. Dominic would attempt to hit the 619 on The Miz, but The Miz would dodge it and hit the Skull Crusher finale for the 1-2-3. So Miz gets the quick victory, carrying that momentum from WrestleMania. But not long after that, we get the debut of Veer. Veer comes down to the ring. he beats up on the Mysterios. So Veer beats up on Dominic. He has Dominic in this half kind of camel clutch submission. Rey Mysterio is grabbing on Veer's leg like, let go of my son. You know, just letting Veer look strong, getting Veer over. And we finally get the debut of Veer. He puts the beat down on the Mysterio family. And next week, we will get a one-on-one between Veer and Rey Mysterio. Next, we get an in-ring promo from the new Raw Women's Champion, Bianca Belair. Bianca takes off her shades to reveal a black eye, and she says that WrestleMania was a war. Bianca says during this whole thing, Becky has tried to comfort her throat, comfort her hair, comfort her eye. But at the end of the day, Bianca came for her title. And I want to be the champion that you could be proud of. The roughest, the toughest, the fastest. You know, she does her whole spill. And that was pretty much it. It was just her putting herself over and saying that she's going to be a fighting champion. I thought that this was going to be the time that we were going to get maybe a debut or return, maybe Bayley. Where is Bayley? But no, it's just Bianca coming out saying that she's the champ and I'm going to recover and I'm going to beat up everybody who tries to take my belt. Next, we get an NXT Championship title defense on an episode of Monday Night Raw. The champion, Dolph Ziggler, defends against Braun Breaker. I know I haven't covered NXT on this channel, but just to give you a background, Dolph Ziggler went over to NXT just to stir it up over there. He got involved with the champion, Braun Breaker. Breaker ended up defending the NXT Championship in a triple threat match, with Ziggler and Ciampa being involved, and it turns out that Ziggler won that match and Ziggler walked away the NXT champion. So we get this match and Breaker has Ziggler down to a science. This was the rematch and Breaker would get the NXT championship back after a crazy spear, and he does his finishing move, which is like this gorilla press into a power slam. 1, 2, 3. Braun Breaker, two-time NXT champion. Next, we get the return of MVP. He comes out to the ring, grabs the mic, and says that last night, Bobby Lashley proved that he could take on the Colossus Omos, and he didn't need me to do it. That stuck out to me. When MVP said that, I'm like, why did he say that? Why did he make that important? Why did he say that he didn't need me to do it? Something ain't right. Not after long, Lashley comes out and joins MVP in the ring. We get the reunion between the two. Lashley says that everyone was telling him that it couldn't be done. Even he began to doubt himself. But at the end of the day, he is the Almighty, and he defeated Omos. He defeated the Colossus. And as he's toying Omos, of course, this brings Omos out. He comes out towards the ring. And when Omos got to the ring, MVP would attack Lashley from behind. It was a setup, man. And it turns out that we have a new alliance between Omos and MVP. So now MVP has a new client, and it looks like that Omos has a manager. The best big guys have the best managers. This would definitely get Omos over in his heel pocket, and it seems that Lashley is going to be the new babyface on Raw. So let's see how their paths turn out in the next few months. Next, we get another in-ring segment. This time we are joined by the former women's tag team champions, Queen Zelina and Carmella. Zelina takes to the mic and she tells Carmella, look, let's be clear. We lost the tag titles last night because of you. Your head has not been in the game for weeks. You have been distracted with this whole wedding thing between you and Corey. And look, I don't even know why you're getting involved. Corey deserves better, and he is a handsome man. I don't know. It was weird. She shoots her shot at Corey, even though we all know the whole, I don't know. We know wrestling, real relationships, and sometimes they implement them in the storyline, so it's weird when, I don't know. The whole thing was weird. It ends in a segment with Carmella and Corey tonguing each other down. Whatever. It sucked. On to the next segment. Next, we get a 6-man tag team match as the team of the United States champion Finn Balor and the Raw Tag Team Champions Team RK Bro take on the team of Austin Theory and the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos. Now, the Usos, they gas up Austin Theory's head backstage saying, hey, we won our match at WrestleMania. You lost, and you took an L to Pat McAfee. Ain't he a punter? You ain't nothing. So they get in your boy Austin's head. He's tight, so he goes crazy in this match. We get some spots from the Usos. We get some super kicks here and there. We get spots from Orton, Vince, Orton, everybody getting their spots in. But the match will come down to its end when Austin Theory would hit the A-Town down on Finn Balor. And look, this is like maybe what, the third or fourth week in a row that Austin Theory has pinned the United States champion clean. They are eventually going to put the US belt on Austin Theory. I could feel it coming soon. He has that many victories over Finn. Like, how many times has Finn took an L to this kid? I think the only time Finn has won is when Finn won the belt. Ever since he won that belt, Finn's been taking L after L. Next, we get another in-ring segment. This time, we are joined by Edge. He says, I took care of AJ Styles the way that I said that I would. And Damian Priest has joined my side because he realized that he has wasted his life, wasted his soul, wasted his spirit, trying to appease all you sheep. And as he's calling everybody sheep, the crowd start to chant, "We are sheep." Oh my God. Edge goes, "Thank you for reminding me, idiots." It was just a funny segment. Damian Priest joins Edge and says that he no longer serves the people, he only serves Edge. And they both said that they bought the pit bull out of AJ Styles. And they said, AJ, you should chill. You shouldn't even think to bring that side out of you anymore. You should think about your family. And of course, bringing up AJ's family made AJ Styles come out. AJ Styles caught the bait, y'all. But with the numbers game, they do put the beat down on AJ Styles, and they also reveal this new double team finishing move. So as Edge hits the spear, Damian Priest does the dragon whip. So he sweeps the leg of Styles as AJ does the spear. It looks pretty interesting. And you know what? If they're gonna put them together as a team, I could see them being Raw Tag Team Champions. I could see that being a thing. Why not let Edge get another run as a tag team champion? He's already had plenty of different runs with plenty of different people. And he elevates talent, so I think that'll be a dope thing. Next, we get a tag team match as the Street Profits take on Alpha Academy. These two are the other two remaining teams in a Raw Tag Team title match, so they still have a lot of steam in them. And when they faced off, they could not contain themselves. They started fighting all over the place. The bell never started off, and this encouraged the referees and everybody to break them up. Adam Pearce will come out and restart the match, this time saying that the match will be a Texas Tornado match, meaning it is a tornado tag match. Nobody tags in or out, no disqualification, no rules. Everybody just fight. And that's what we get. We get big, crazy spots. Montez Ford does the dive to the outside over the corner once again, which is impressive every single time you see it. You get body slam moves from Alpha Academy all over the place. It was just chaos everywhere. But the match comes down to an end when we get the craziest spot of the night. Montez Ford will hit Chad Gable with the From the Heavens Frog Splash through the table for the 1, 2, 3, and the Street Profits get the victory. And it's so funny because Gable sold that table spot. He looked dead in that ring, like he didn't move a muscle. And finally, we are joined in the ring by the Tribal Chief, the head of the table, the new undisputed Universal WWE Champion, Roman Reigns. Of course, he is joined by his special counsel, Paul Heyman. He is joined by the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos. They are decked out in gold in the middle of the ring. Paul Heyman takes to the mic and he announces each member of the Bloodline. He goes over each of their accolades and say why they are the upper echelon of the WWE. Roman says that he did exactly what he was going to do. He smashed Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. He finally did the one thing that he wasn't able to accomplish. And then he pretty much blows us off and says, hey, if you want to know what's next for me, tune in to SmackDown. That's literally all he said. Like, this SmackDown, I'm gonna let y'all know what's going on. Until then, acknowledge me. I was like, yo, I can't believe what just happened. And that's how we go off the air. We close it with that segment. And for a Raw after WrestleMania, to be honest, they need to just lift that stigma off. They need to just take that whole thing out. That whole hype is gone. It started anyway back at the WrestleMania after what? The Raw after WrestleMania 28, 29. And for a Raw after WrestleMania, I would say that the episode was pretty mid. We did get a few matches, but all of the matches were pretty short. We got a few segments, but none of them really started any new rivalries. We didn't get any debuts. We did get a repackaged Elias, but it was pretty weird. There were so many weeks in a row where Raw was mid, and then WrestleMania happened, and then And then we're just back to the mid. But that was my review for Monday Night Raw. Thank you for following through to the channel once again. And if you haven't already, please make sure that you like, comment, share, subscribe, turn the notifications on, engage people. Until next time, peace.